A very warm welcome back to the channel. I really hope you're all keeping well, all keeping positive, and you're joining me today out on my daily exercise. I've got the stepometer, whatever it's called, on my watch, and I'm out probably try and get 10,000 steps. It's around about 5 miles or something. That'll do me. So I've invested in a GoPro Hero 8 Black, and nice and inconspicuous. What it's going to allow me to do is really keep the focus on, this is my exercise. You know, I'm not out on a photography trip. With that being said, I'm bringing along this, my little beast, my little Canon M50 with the 15 to 45mm lens. So this is usually my video camera, so I'm kind of switching things around a bit, and I'll just stop, you know, every now and again for a few seconds, just taking a few snaps. So the main thing that I'm doing, guys, is really relieving the pressure of trying to get amazing photographs. I don't care. I'm just going to be pretty snap happy, just experiment with a lot of random stuff. So I will say, for the foreseeable, I'm not expecting any fireworks with the photography, because these aren't photography trips. This is my exercise. So it's not bad, you know. I tell you what, I must say, I feel absolutely naked. No bag, obviously, certainly no tripods, no filters, no Nikon, no drone, no audio equipment for my videos and stuff. Super minimalist. At the same time as feeling naked, I must admit, it feels quite liberating, especially with just having the little Canon literally fitting in my coat pocket. How cool is that? So this is the wonderful Lancaster district. This is my local area. This is what I'm going to be sticking to. I'm very lucky to live where I do, and this is where I'm going to be performing my exercise, let's say. So yeah, I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. You know, I'll try my best to explain if I'm ever taking photographs. I've got a little chest mount for the GoPro and things like that. We're living the dream out here, guys. We're living the dream. Obviously no one about, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. The videos aren't going to be as polished as they usually are, if they're ever really polished anyway, let's face it. But this is the only way I could kind of figure out how to make this work. So we'll see how it goes. But tell you what, it's a pretty beautiful morning, I must say, and we'll see if there's anything worth snapping. So come along with me, we'll see what we can find, and we'll get these steps in. Alright, so I think that's about time for the first stop, and I'll tell you what, guys, get a look at them silver birch trees there. This is somewhere that I've never been before. I've been in this area, and I've actually been up this hill that you can hopefully see in the background there, which is called Cloffer Pike. I did a video there in the summer, photographed some heather. You can probably see all around, there's loads of heather. Beautiful spot for the summer, but I've never noticed these silver birch trees. Absolutely beautiful. So again, the scouting trip part of things here is fantastic, because I mean, I think silver birch trees are beautiful throughout the whole year. You know, autumn they go yellow, spring they're a really nice sort of vibrant lime green colour. I'll put an image up on the screen there that I got in the Lake District, looking back towards the Langdale Pikes, spring 2020, and it's one of my favourite ever shots, and mostly because of the silver birch trees, beautiful colour. But I love them in the winter as well. They get this kind of maroony tinge to them. Fantastic subjects. But again, this will be a wonderful place to come back to maybe in the spring. So first rubbish shot of the day, hope you enjoy it. Of course, Canon M50. I'm going to just shoot them all in manual mode as well, which, if you're going to do this sort of thing and shoot handheld, probably no need whatsoever. You could probably even shoot in automatic, it'll be absolutely fine. But I just really want to make sure that I don't clip my highlights. Canon M50, unlike my Nikon, live histogram, living the dream. I'm going to focus on these trees here. I'm exposing for the highlights, so you see my histogram is quite far to the right. And yeah, it's just, I don't like that one on the far left. I'm going to get all this rubbish off the screen. There we go. So you see, just focus on them ones there. 1/100th of a second, f5 and ISO 100. I'll probably angle down a little bit. See, I'm using the rule of thirds. That top line is still on the horizon. We only need 1/3 of the sky. Let's grab that now. Boosh, there's your dinner. So that should be the first rubbish shot of the day, and yeah, let's crack on, get the steps in, see what else we can find, and we'll have a little chat in a minute as well. So, what are we on? Just over 2,000 steps. That's not bad actually. I thought it would be way less than that. Look at this, pretty cool here. Little stream running down. It's really nice just with the frost. It was a really frosty morning. It's a bit later in the day now. Yeah, it's about 11 o'clock. But yeah, stunning so far. Now, what I want to talk about today is how I think that I'm just a kind of average photographer. Now, what I don't mean is, you know, that I'm rubbish. I'm not trying to put myself down. I'm really proud of where I'm at with my photography and with this YouTube channel especially. What I mean is, I think this will be obvious to a lot of people, but if not, I think this will be some really good advice. You shouldn't put people up on a pedestal that have got really big or, you know, decent social media followings. And what I kind of mean is, just because somebody's got a big following on social media, in any sort of genre, not just photography, in whatever it is that they do, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're really good at it. And I'm only using myself as an example here. I think there are, like, it's a fact, there are way better photographers out there than me that don't do it for a living, that don't do it professionally, and they're just hobbyists or amateurs, either because they want to or they cannot be bothered with the social media side of things. I'm hugely inspired by so many amateur photographers. I hate even saying that because it sounds like you're degrading them almost just because they're amateur, but that's not, absolutely not what I mean at all. And all I'm trying to get at is, you know, social media for me is fantastic. I absolutely love this YouTube channel, this community that we've created together. Really proud of where we're at and where I'm at. You know, I've worked hard and I'm able to make a living from my photography because of my YouTube channel. You know, yes, I'll say it again, I'm proud of my photography. I've got a lot more to learn. I've got, you know, a lot more of the journey to go along, so to speak, but I can only make this work because I've got a social media following. So that doesn't automatically make me a really good photographer. And the reason I want to say this is that I don't like the idea of people feeling down about themselves in terms of the photography because they might only have 200 Instagram followers or whatever. Even then, that's a good amount of followers. You should be really proud of that sort of thing. But just because it's just the classic social media thing, you can't be comparing yourself to the likes of people that have got tens of thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, subscribers, whatever. All it means is that they've really worked hard on that side of things, and you can trust me on that because that's all it is with me, you know. So, you know, if you've got 50 followers on Instagram, that's not a representation of your photography, is what I'm trying to say. You know, 100,000 Instagram followers doesn't equate to a really good photographer necessarily. You could have 5 followers on Instagram and be an incredible photographer. Please remember that. I think that's really important, and it's more just a sort of mindset sort of thing. Yes, it might be easy for me to say because I've got a decent following in here on YouTube, but it would be exactly the same if I had 10 followers. My photography wouldn't be any different. I hope that makes sense. So let's keep getting these steps in, see if we can take some more rubbish photographs. This is class. I'm going to stop saying rubbish photographs because there's no need to say that. Just a bit snap happy, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Frosty, stunning, still, quiet, living the dream. Let's crack on. So I'm going to take another quick shot here with the M50. You can probably see what's going on here, so I don't need to talk about too much. Don't need to talk about it too much. I'm going to shoot in portrait. And we just got, yeah, this is a nice frosty path leading us out. Let's get the histogram up. Let's change the aperture actually. Let's close it up a little bit. Let's go for f9. That'll do 1/80th of a second. I find this camera, especially because I use it for video a lot, has got fantastic image stabilization. And from my test, I would be comfortable probably even shooting at 1/10 of a second, which is amazing. You know, even just hearing myself say that sounds absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to come to the right hand side of the path a little bit, just so I'm not, you know, I prefer coming to the right hand side rather than being in the middle like that. If I come to the right hand side, I like how everything comes from the bottom left of the image. So you see the difference there. There we go, so something like that. I'm going to angle downwards to get a bit of a wide angle effect. And we don't need so much of the sky, you know. What I don't like here, see at the bottom there, that sort of green patch. So all I'm going to do is move forward. See how them tiny little differences can make, or tiny little movements can make such a huge difference. Focus down there, which is about 1/3 of the way into the image. There we go. Stunning. So I'm going to follow this path. There's a couple of options. I could go that way or up here. Me being me, I'm going to take the one that goes up. Chat to you in a bit. So another quick snap. We've just got this really nice peak off in the background. Some more silver birch trees, a bit of frost or what looks like remnants of snow maybe. I'm trying to balance the snow with the peak. F9 F9 ISO 100 and 1/60th of a second. Focused on the silver birch trees. There we go. Loving it, loving it. Put me on. 3,000 steps. Woo! So another quick snap, and this is something that I want to play around with a bit. Depth of field. So I'm going to change my aperture to the widest open that it can go, f3.5. Of course, that's let a lot more light in, so we'll get a quicker shutter speed. I need to change that. There we go. Keep our eyes on the histogram there. You can see it's coming away from the highlights, and yeah, that'll do there. Get everything off the screen, and yeah, depth of field. So I'm going to focus on this frost down here. Get my rule of thirds. Get the horizon on the top horizontal level of the rule of thirds, focus down here on this frost and just allow the bokeh in the background to come into its own, you know. Nice bit of blur in the background. 1/320th, f3.5 ISO 100. Another one in the bag. Let's crack on. So before I forget, because I do keep forgetting, the print giveaway that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the Lion and the Lamb A4. Firstly and most importantly, thank you all so very much for all the comments. That was overwhelming and just amazing at the same time. Like, thanks so much for the support. In that particular video, I said, you know, comment and tell me where you're from. So interesting. Way more people from probably North America than I thought. Loads of really cool places around the UK and quite a lot of places I had to Google as well. Fantastic. So thank you all so much for the support. It's a real shame that I can only send one out, you know, but please know that I'm very, very grateful. I've chosen a fella called Stephen Long who lives in New Zealand, and his particular comment just said that he's followed me from when I used to vlog in New Zealand. That's where it all began for me, and you know, a few people said that, but of course I could only pick one, and his was probably just the first one I read. And yeah, thanks so much, Stephen. And you know, it's amazing to think that yourself and, you know, a lot of people have followed me since then. It feels like another life. You know, we've come a long way on this YouTube channel since then, and it was amazing because it just gave me some nice memories of where it all began. And I think it'd be quite nice to imagine that the print is going to go back to where it all began for us on this YouTube channel, you know. So yeah, Stephen, please get in touch, mate. You'll be able to find my email address on my website, of course, or via the contact form on my website. And yeah, it'd be an absolute pleasure to send it out to you, mate. Thanks for your support, and thank you to all of you again for the support. What an absolute treat. So back to the day. What are we on steps wise now? Ooh, nearly 4,000. We'll be turning around soon. I'm just going to go to a point and then all the way back to where I began. Yeah, we've gained a little bit of height now, which is nice. I'm still massively interested in, it's just over them trees now actually, but that crag that I photographed earlier, it looks really cool, and I think I'll probably make it up to there one day soon if we get a bit of snow maybe. You know, it's got a nice vantage point, so naturally it's going to give us nice vistas, but because it looks so craggy and rocky, get a bit of a better view of it now we've come up a bit. You probably can't see that on the GoPro, but yeah, we'll get a lot of nice foreground elements as well. So I'd like to get a few more shots, a few more snaps, a few more snaplingtons. So let's crack on, get to the 5,000, and then we'll turn back round. All right, so we've hit around about 5,000 steps now. So I'm going to stop here, take a shot, and then turn back around and head back to where I started today's exercise, living the dream. So we're looking eastwards and we're looking back into the Bowland Fells. It looks fantastic. This is a situation where I'd love to have a longer focal length, but we're living the dream. So I'm going to zoom in as far as I can on this camera to 45mm, which is all right. It's going to be decent. I'm going to shoot in a portrait dimension. Let's get the histogram and the settings up. There we go. So I'm shooting at ISO 100, f11 and 1/60th of a second. That shutter speed is absolutely fine. I'm not bothered about not having the tripod. f11, in contrast to that shot before where we got the photograph of the frost on the rock, I don't want the blur in the background this time. So I'm closing up the aperture up a little bit so we get an even focus throughout the image. Histogram's looking fine. So I'm going to focus actually on these oak trees, I think they are, down here. Centralize that kind of gorge area there that cuts through the mountains. Get the horizon on the top third line. And then of course, press the shutter button. And there we go, another shot in the bag. So let's head back. And yeah, we'll see if there's anything else on the way back, maybe. Let's crack on. So just quickly before we move on, sun's coming from up there, just creeping over, and we've got a nice little bit of light here in the foreground. So I'll get myself down and let's get everything up. Histogram settings, right, so that's about right as is. So f11, ISO 100 and 1/80th of a second. Histogram is looking pretty much spot on, and then I need to get everything off the screen there. That's just me, so I can actually see what I'm photographing. I'm getting quite low. I'm trying to accentuate this light, really nice light that we've got here in the foreground. At the top left, I'm making sure that there's a nice bit of breathing room between them trees. Focus 1/3 of the way in. Nice path that's leading us in. Lovely. Let's crack on. Rightio, I am going to call it a day there actually, guys, because I think it's been a decent little outing and I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's nice to get out and about. And I thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for your support, and please give the video a like if you have a quick second, and comment down below, you know, if you've got any suggestions. That'd be fantastic as well. This is a new sort of way of filming to me. What works, what doesn't work, you know, if there's things that I can improve on, it's only going to benefit us all, isn't it? So awesome stuff. Hope you're keeping well, and I shall see you on the next exercise. Out.